What is going on, guys? It is Tribal Chief Wrestling here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including The Rock's insane WWE salary revealed. This is the first time that WWE haven't done this since 2001. Is Chris Jericho ready to retire? Seth Rollins teasing a new storyline on his return. Zilla Feru WWE bound. A shock WWE debut incoming. An AW named WWE bound, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive list. Now, let's see the intro and get straight into our first story. The Rock's WWE salary revealed now. First story looks at The Rock's insane WWE salary revealed. Now, our top story today looks at The Rock, specifically how much he's making from his WWE contract. As we all know, The Rock is officially a member of the TKO Board of Directors, and it turns out that since signing with WWE TKO, he's walked away with $80 million. The information was first reported by the Wrestling Observer Radio, which stated $80 million over. This will be the end of the second year of that deal because he signed that deal on, was it January 3rd, 2024, right? So, 2 years, $80 million roughly. Unbelievable. Now, according to Meltzer, this doesn't even include his merch money, and it doesn't even include his pay for Tribal Chief Wrestling 40 or his other TV dates. That figure is not even including his merch money, not even including his Tribal Chief Wrestling Live appearance pay. We were probably adding like several more million. He should be in love with Nick Khan. Just telling you that. And basically, Nick Khan should be in love with him, too. Because those two, they've really taken care of each other financially and status-wise. But these figures are astronomical, and it's hardly a surprise that the final boss would rather stay away from television and work behind the scenes on the board of directors. $80 million is a substantial payday for The Rock, and it's probably the most sensible business Cole has ever made. This also does suggest that there's virtually no incentive for The Rock to wrestle again. He is never going to be offered this amount of money to compete one final time, so we may as well consider The Rock formally retired from WWE. The only hope in terms of one final match for The Rock is against Roman Reigns in Saudi Arabia. But as The Rock gets older and these TKO award payments keep coming in, the chances of him accepting the match are looking less and less likely. Next, WWE names Best Moment OF 2025 up. WWE names the best moment of 2025. The WWE has been ranking down the best moments of 2025. And according to the company, John Cena's heel turn is the best moment of the year. According to their official rankings, the top 5 is as follows. The first is John Cena's heel turn. The second is Seth Rollins cashes in. Number 3, John Cena wins number 17. Number 4, Jay wins the world title. And number 5, AJ Lee returns. Naturally, fans on social media have been extremely critical of the inclusion of Jey Uso's world title win, as this was one of the more polarizing title changes of 2025. One surprisingly not even in the top 10 is Alexa Bliss's return at the Royal Rumble, which garnered an enormous pop. Next up, this first year WWE have not done this since 2001 is the first year WWE have not done this since 2001. 2025 has been an interesting year in WWE, to say the very least, as it surfaced that this year has been the first year since 2001 to not feature a Hell in a Cell matchup. It was heavily rumored that CM Punk and Seth Rollins were destined to settle their feud inside Hell in a Cell, but when Rollins was legitimately injured, this changed these plans completely. This is definitely a positive step forward for WWE, as in effect it protects the integrity of the concept, and we aren't just getting Hell in a Cell matches for the sake of it. At one point in time, we were getting Hell in a Cell matches just because the PLE had come around. And even if there were no blood feud in the company, a Hell in a Cell match had to be produced no matter what. Next up is WWE bringing in Zilla Fatu, Zilla 2. Recently, at an independent wrestling show, Reality of Wrestling Zilla 2 was ambushed by current WWE talent in a surprise moment that shocked the live crowd and drew plenty of attention online. During the main event of Reality of Wrestling Sub-Zero event, Fatu was competing for the World Championship and seemed poised to win. But just as he was about to hit his signature move, a hooded figure rushed into the ring and stopped him, delivering a sudden spear that halted Faru's momentum and cost him the match. When the attacker dropped his mask, it was revealed to be Ricky Saint, a WWE NXT star and former NXT champion who's recently turned heel. After the incident, Zilla Fatu took to social media to respond directly to Saint's surprise interference. And he wrote messages warning Saints not to get too comfortable after the attack, implying that his confrontation is just the beginning of a larger conflict. Could this be the groundwork laid for Zilla Fatu to finally debut in WWE and get his revenge on Ricky Saints? Will WWE debut him in honor of his father, Umaga, and have him wear the face paint? Next up, does Y2J want to retire? Now, everyone is assuming that Chris Jericho is retiring in 2026. Yet, there's been no confirmation whatsoever from Jericho that this is on the cards. According to a new Fightful Select Q&A, Jericho currently has no major injuries, and he hasn't told anyone that he's looking to retire. Chris Jericho has had no major injuries or surgeries and wants to continue to wrestle. He's on his longest physical break in years, and has not told anyone that I've spoken to that is looking to wrap things up. I can't speak to plans for WWE, but I do think that that's the right place for him at this moment. I think the crowd will react the way WWE wants them to for this tour, assuming it happens. This is newsworthy and suggests that 2026 may not be the final year of Jericho's pro wrestling career. If he's healthy and thriving in the ring, then it's possible that he looks to extend his career for 1 or 2 more years. This also depends on how WWE wants to bring Jericho into the fold. A lot of fans are assuming that Jericho will return at the Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia before retiring at WrestleMania. However, with the 2027 installment of WrestleMania taking place in Saudi Arabia, they may wish to hold off on the retirement until then. So, the country is a huge retirement for the big show. Next up is Seth Rollins teasing a new storyline. As Seth Rollins is currently on the shelf with an injury, but that hasn't stopped the former world champion from teasing future storylines during his media appearances, which could be ready for his return. During his appearance on Clutch Points, Rollins stated that he's the real world champion. The primary target in my return will not be a person at all. It'll be a thing. That would be the World Heavyweight Championship because I never lost the title. So, I'm rightfully the World Heavyweight Champion. I was stripped of that championship, and anybody who's in possession of that title, be it CM Punk, be it Braun Breaker, anybody who stands in my way, they will be dealt with. Rollins was set to initially work with Roman Reigns at WrestleMania this year, but these creative plans have changed now that Rollins is injured. With that being said, Rollins' recovery is said to be going very well, and it wouldn't be out of the question to see Rollins return in time or early enough for WrestleMania. If this does occur, then we can assume that WWE delivers a Rollins versus Braun Breaker matchup, potentially even for the world title, and Rollins embarks on yet another run as a babyface. Next up, a WWE star reveals behind-the-scenes info. And John Cena revealed last week that it was he who directly pushed to include the Judgment Day in his match at Survivor Series War Games. According to Cena, this was his way of giving back, and it would allow each respective member of the faction to feel the noise. But now, one name that was involved in this, that being Roxanne Perez, has revealed behind-the-scenes information in relation to what Cena had told the faction after the match took place. Speaking to Going Ringside, Perez stated after the match at Survivor Series, he brought all of us together, everyone who was a part of that match. And the first thing he asked was, "Okay, what do you guys think we could have done better?" He was sweating, exhausted, everything. It was just crazy that he was asking us that. Well, we thought he could have done better. Perez stated that she came away from the conversation realizing that she can never stop learning. That's definitely something I'll take with me throughout my entire career. You never stop learning. Never stop getting better. Even the best ever do it. John Cena never stops getting better. I'm pretty sure he even asked himself that question in his retirement match. So, yeah, I'll keep that with me for sure, as Cena was utterly selfless in his last few matches, and he is a name that went out by wanting to give back to as many wrestlers as possible. Next up is a shock WWE debut incoming. Shock WWE debut incoming. Now, recent Fightful Select Q&A has the wrestling world buzzing as Fifo discussed members of the Elite potentially jumping ship to WWE, and according to the Q&A, Kenny Omega is unlikely to ever sign with WWE. However, it wouldn't be out of the question for the Young Bucks to sign with the company. Kenny Omega signed a 4-year contract extension in the summer of 2023, and there's a ton of injury time that could be added if that is a clause